In this class, we are continuing with lesson 2 Rise and Spread of Islam. And in the introduction part, we saw that Islam arose in the Arabian Peninsula and it was a desert. And this place, it was between Red Sea and the Persian Gulf. And the people, those who lived in that area, they were tribes and they were warring tribes. They fought each other and they were nomadic people also. And these people, they worshipped many god and goddesses. Then we discussed about the advent of Islam, and here we learned about the early life of the prophet. He was the founder of Islam. Prophet Muhammad was the founder of Islam, and in the age of 40 he started to receive messages from God through angel Gabriel, and after getting the message he started to preach people, and he preached about monotheism, means believe in one God. And we discussed about hijrah also, and 5 duties of Muslim. He should, or the Muslims, they must pray 5 times a day. Every Muslim, they have to help the poor, and Muslims, they should fast from dawn to dusk in the month of Ramzan, and the Muslim, they must correctly recite aloud the Shahada. And last one, they have to visit at least once in a lifetime the holiest shrine. And after the death of Prophet Muhammad, some changes happened. Especially this community split into two sects, Shia and Sunni. And now this class, we are going to study about the rise of Turks. The 10th century, the power of the Abbasid Caliphates was start to decline. And last class we discussed about the Umayyads and Abbasids. Who are they? They were the most powerful caliphates, Umayyads and Abbasids. And in the 18th or the 10th century, the power of the Abbasid Caliphate starts to decline, and many Arab territories came under the new rulers. Okay, and the Turkish rulers, they assumed title like Amir. They adopted, the Turkish rulers, they adopted titles like Amir, Sultan, etc., etc. And the ruler of the state of Ghazni, he carried out series of raids into India in the 11th century, and he plundered the wealth of India also. And here in the 11th century, we can saw that different crusades, and the Byzantine Empire was attacked by the Seljuk Turks. They conquered most of the region except Asia Minor and Greece. And the crusades, it started or it began in 1096. And in these crusades, many people died. There was a positive side also there. There was increased interaction between European and Eastern nations. Trade expanded or trade flourished. This is the result of crusades. Many people died. Of course, many people died because of these crusades or holy wars, but some positive side also were there. The interaction between European and Eastern nations, it increased, and trade flourished, trade expanded, and merchants and other wealthy sections financed the crusades. The wealthy people, they spent money for, or they financed for the crusades. They give money for the war. And next we can see that the Islamic culture. And here you will study about some important names of the people. First, under the patronage of Abbasid caliphs, the Arabs dominated trade whatever they want. This brought them prosperity. To help long distance trade, the Abbasid kept the land route in good condition, maintained caravansaries, and developed a good banking system. Muslim traders controlled the sea routes in the Indian Ocean and Persian Gulf region. Here we are going to study about how the Islamic culture, it is spread all over the world. The main reason is trade. Okay, what was the goods manufactured? The Islamic urban centers had industries specializing in the manufacture of carpets, brocades, perfumes, and goods made of silk, wool, metal, glass, and leather. And this was the main goods. And through the trade, the interaction between the Arab people of and other countries, and the Arab gathered knowledge from Greeks, Chinese, Persian, Indians, and Romans and other part of the world, and Arabic became the international language in the medieval period. And here we can see the literature and philosophy. The splendor of the Abbasid court in the 8th and 9th century under great caliphs like Harun al-Rashid inspired many legends. Such legends later found place in the stories of Thousands and One Nights. The Arabs also translated literary works from other parts of the world. The Sanskrit work Panchatantra, for instance, was translated into Arabic as Kalila or Nima, and it was later known as Europe as the Fables of Pilpay after the narrator Vidyapat or Vidyapati. In this period, we can see that many books translated into other languages, especially the Sanskrit work Panchatantra, for instance, established into Arabic as another book. And Muslim philosophers, we can see some Muslim philosophers also, and these people, they were influenced by the rational ideas of Greek philosophers, especially Aristotle. Muslim philosophers, they were influenced by Aristotle, and they translated number of Greek philosophical works into their own language. And the Arab made great progress in the use of lenses and built observatories that provided accurate astronomical data. They found out that the earth rotates on its axis and revolves around the sun. This was a great discovery. They discovered, or they found out, that the earth rotates on its own axis and revolves around the sun. And Arab philosophers, scientists like Rhazes and Ibn Sina made great contribution in the field of diagnostic diseases. And the Arab rulers, especially the Arab rulers, they made many hospital and they promoted the study of medical science. And Ibn Sina's work, what is the name of Ibn Sina's work? The Canon of Medicine. It was used in the school. Ibn Sina's work, the Canon of Medicine, was used in many medical schools. And here we can see that alchemist searched for the philosopher's stone, which they believed could turn common metal into gold. And this process they discovered new metals, drugs, and other substances. Okay, medieval chemical scientist, alchemist, he searched for the philosopher's stone, and which they believed could turn common metal into gold. So in this process they discovered many other new metals. And architecture and art, Islamic culture flourished under the Byzantine and Persian rulers, who built palaces, libraries, educational institutions, hospitals, mosques, and tombs. And Islam does not allow use the human forms of decoration. And Islamic painting and sculptures depicted geometrical pattern and floral designs. They did not allow to use human forms in decoration. Buildings were often decorated with mosaics and calligraphy. They decorated their buildings with mosaics and calligraphy only. They didn't allow to use the human forms in decoration. So once again I will summarize what we have learned in the class. After the 10th century, the several Turkish tribesmen recruited as generals emerged as amirs and sultans of independent states. The Turkish ruler of Ghazni, he invaded India in the 11th century. After the 11th century, the Seljuk, Ghorid, and Ottoman Turks controlled West Asia. And then next we saw that the importance of crusades. The Crusades were a series of rebellious wars between the Christians and Muslims, and it lasted in 11th and 13th centuries. And many people died in this war, but trade improved. And under the Abbasids, the Arab controlled Asian overland trade as well as maritime trade also. And these Arab people, they spread knowledge gathered from Greeks, Chinese, etc., etc. And these Arabs made general or great progress in astronomy and medicine. And Islamic architecture introduced minarets and an onion shaped dome, geometric patterns, floral designs, mosaics, and calligraphy were used in decoration. So, all of you, please read again and again up to here. If you have any doubt, you can ask to me.